Addiction doesn't discriminate. There's no qualifications that make you an addict, you know. There's nothing like, oh, like you were raised in a bad childhood, you're gonna be an addict. Like, I wasn't raised in a bad childhood, I became an addict, you know. I'm an addict because I'm an addict. Circumstance is null and void. I was one of those kids that never really felt a part of, so like what I would do is put up with being bullied by the cool kids so I would be part of the cool kid crowd. I was doing anything possible to be accepted. Just so I could sit at their table at lunch, like I would be, you know, I would put up with what they would dish out so I could be included. I was willing to put aside that I was, you know, the brunt of some jokes to be involved. I had experienced alcohol with my cousin. I think I was 12 years old. She's a little bit older than me. She had some experience. She lived in California. She came out for the weekend and started drinking beers. Eventually it was, do you have anything harder? And I knew where the liquor cabinet was and got a bottle of Jim Beam out and we polished it off. I was, you know, 6th grade, 80 pounds soaking wet. I don't remember the ambulance ride to the hospital. Don't remember much of the next day. I guess my parents found both of us unresponsive in the living room and had to call the paramedics. Had a 0.29 blood alcohol content at 12 years old. The doctor said I should have died. They pumped my stomach. Worst hangover of my life, and I can remember telling myself that I will never, ever do that again. And we all know that that's not true. I did it again and again, over and over. Partying, you know, high school parties, sneaking booze into school in water bottles, and I hurt my knee racing dirt bikes, tore my ACL, and I was introduced to Percocet. That was like my love. The opiate high was like what I was living for, and ran through my prescription fairly quickly, you know, stole them out of my parents' bedroom. Once they were gone, I remember hearing about these NBC Nightline or whatever, was like those pill parties where kids would take their parents' you know, medications and put them in a bowl and eat them. And I'm like, sounds like a good idea. So I did that. I took all the medication out of my parents' closet, and not really did I hit my hardcore addiction until right before I graduated high school. I was introduced to methamphetamine. I'm an ADHD kid, so like I was already, since 6 years old, I was on, you know, Ritalin to Adderall to Vyvanse. So like I'd already experienced amphetamines, you know, but they were from a doctor, and I had no idea that they were drugs. It was just something I took every morning. You know, it made me do really well in school. I could focus. And but once I found out that I could abuse them, it went downhill. And so I meth binge for a while, went to ASU, had a full ride scholarship. At 17, I moved to the dorms in Tempe. I'm like, I'm an adult now. Like, I'm a man, I can do what I want. And what I wanted to do was get fucked up. I partied away a full ride scholarship to ASU in the first semester. My grades were so poor that they told me to leave. I was put on a 5-year academic probation ban. So like, I couldn't return to ASU. I still don't know if it's even possible now because of how poorly I did after them throwing me $35,000. So like, here you go, come to our school. And I pretty much took that scholarship and lit it on fire because I wanted to get fucked up, you know. I was on meth, but I was also drinking. I was, you know, smoking weed, ecstasy, the college, you know, crowd, drugs, you know, scene. If I don't think about something, if I tell myself something's not real, like I can trick myself into believing that it's not true. So I was like, I would trick myself, I don't need to go to class, you know? I don't need to go to school, like school's for chumps, what am I have to do that for? Like, and then I introduced to heroin, that's where it went downhill. Started stealing from my family, you know, faulty checks from my parents, stealing my little brother's change jar because I wanted to get high. Like I was gonna do whatever it took to get high because I'm selfish and I get what I want because I'm an addict. My heroin experience runs from about 2009 to about 8 months ago. I go to a treatment center, inpatient, my parents found me overdosed in my bed, but my first thought was, I'm gonna go to treatment, I'll be rehab all-star. I'll do everything they want me to do. The second I get out, I'm gonna get mom and dad off my back, and I'm gonna go back to doing dope the way I wanna do it. My parents thought I was just, you know, I'm a heroin addict, I'm not an alcoholic, so I went on vacation with them, and they let me drink. And I proceeded to get alcohol poisoning 3 times in 10 days because I'm trying to fill that hole that heroin filled with alcohol, and it's like a square peg in a round hole, it doesn't fit. This commences a 3-year period of bouncing in and out of treatment centers, you know, bouncing in and out of halfway houses, you know, burning my bridge at every single halfway house to the point where, like, you know, this time coming around, nobody wanted to take me back. And I remember waking up in the trap house, that dope house, you know, on February 20th of this year, and was like, is this what my life is gonna be? You know, I'm dope sick. I'm in this random person's house. I don't know who it is. I've been crashing on their couch for like 6 days, and he's finally starting to get sick of me. And I came to the realization that, like, I need help. Like, I need to do something. And I don't know what makes it different this time coming around. I don't know what, what I'm gonna do differently. Like, all I know is that it has to be different because, facing him on 3 separate probation cases. I was facing 5 years in prison back in July, and luckily from the work that I've been putting in with, my fellowship, my 12-step program, and the work I'm doing at my sober living, the job that I have, I was able, my probation officer saw that I was doing good, and took 5 years of prison time off the table. It just shows that the work you put in, good things are going to happen to you. The more you do, the more you get. The more you give back, the more you get. I'm the kind of dope fiend that fills a spoon with tears, knowing that I shouldn't be the one, I can't be doing this, waiting for the dope man at Walgreens, for 6 hours, and he says he's around the corner, and you sit there waiting because he's coming. You want to believe he's coming. And that sense of relief that you get from that, for that shot of dope, like, how long is it gonna last? Like, an hour? 5 minutes? And how long are you gonna continue this? Like, I've had people come in and ask me, like, I don't know what to do, and like, I don't know what to do, and like, you do know what to do, you just don't want to do it. People that do half of it, you don't get half the result, you get none of the result if you do half of it. There's no other way to get the result than to do all the work. And it's scary at first, like, I'm gonna be dope sick, what am I gonna do? Like, what do I do now that I don't do dope? Like, I didn't know what I was gonna do for fun when I got sober. Like, I thought I was having fun when I was getting loaded with those people that I got high with, but I was using them and they were using me. Like, if I didn't have money, they wanted nothing to do with me. If they didn't have money, I wanted nothing to do with them. What I do now in sobriety, I don't think I've had more fun, in this 8 months of sobriety that I have now than I ever had in my entire addiction. The fun I've had is so genuine and pure, and I can remember it. Like, I don't have to wake up in the morning and be like, what happened? Did I have a good time? Let me check my Facebook. Let me check my phone. Did I send out any stupid texts? Did I call somebody? Are the police looking for me? Did I commit any felonies? Like, I don't have to do that anymore. Like, I have honest, good, wholehearted friends that I can, like, turn to for any sort of advice if I have a problem or if I just want to celebrate something. It's amazing to have people that can, call you on your shit, can tell when you're doing good, can tell when you're doing bad, probably before you even know you're doing bad. It's amazing the person that I've become because what I was before, like, you guys probably wouldn't want me sitting in this room, I would have probably, stolen everything in here and then helped you look for it. Stolen your dope and then used the dope to sleep with your girlfriend. Like, the person I was before was not someone that you wanted to be around. My parents didn't want me. Nobody wanted anything to do with me when I was out doing drugs. You can't go to your family and be like, look, I'm 30 days sober, you guys need to trust me. Like, it takes some time, of a decade of, drug use and whatever. You can't fix that in even almost 8 months. It's gonna take, it'll be a lifetime thing to completely gain the trust back of your family, but it's worth it. Like, I can go hang out with my little brother who has special needs, and he's 12, and I used to do dope in front of him, and to have my parents are like, hey, do you want to take Blake to, like, go do something? Or, like, do you want to come over and hang out with your little brother? Before it was, I was in the living room, being watched. He wasn't allowed in the room, I used to smoke dope in front of him and shoot dope, and, like, I even conditioned my little brother to, call a piece of foil and a spoon and a rig nothing. And to this day, he'll point at a piece of foil on the table and he'll be like, Mama, that's nothing. Like, I conditioned my little brother to call it nothing. And, like, I'm gonna have to live with that for a long time. All I can do now is I can be there for him to make up for it. Be there for my family, be there for my friends, be an honest member of society, like, somebody that people can look up to. So this is me now. That was me then, strung out on dope, speedballing in a DMV bathroom. Anybody can recover. Anybody can. I mean, shit, if I can, you can too.